Hey, it always happens this way. I come here thinking, what am I going to talk about? And then I just talk like I normally do. But I thought today I wanted to remind everybody that you're really special, that the world needs you. And I know I keep saying this, and I know there's really nobody listening. But when you all start listening, then we can all work together and realize, wow, we're great people and the world needs us. Because the one thing I have found in life is when you are a good person, you often stand alone. And you look and you look and you try to find others that you can have a soul tribe with, right? Or people that have like interest or have the same goals in mind for the future, and not necessarily all politics. It's more the kids and Mother Earth and what can we do to make a better life, and how can we be more equal in the sense of how we get to live, where you don't have really, really rich people and then people on the bottom struggling, and then the in between don't really care because they're not one or the other. But that mindset keeps us separated to where you have levels. It's a caste system. And that's been around for a very, very long time, since societies have existed. And when we can get back to a point where we're a unified system, we all work together and realize that there's a greater good when we put our hearts into it. And I just want to remind you that you're needed in that we all have a place, and that place, when we get there, where our soul belongs, where our spirit is happy, not where our ego is keeping us from interacting and connecting with one another. When you can get to that place, what you see in the world is something that's been lost for a really long time. And we've all heard the story of Atlantis, where there's this magical land that subsided under the water and no one knows about it. But if you've ever seen the stories that go with it, like I saw a cartoon that my kids watched when they were younger, and the magic that was in that place, the power of the people, the energy that they worked with. And these are things we don't know about, but these are things that are very real. And when you pray and you offer gratitude for that which you have, even if you feel like it's not enough, you open up this new portal, in a way, of a connection that connects high and low and in between. Well, in between. And when you have that, it's more that this functions for up there and this functions for down here. And when the two are balanced, then everything's unified. So we create what we think about, what we, as a collective, and as society, we're looking at zombies and war and end of the world and survival, and that's where the world has gone. The video games show it, the movies show it, people's actions, even what people want to be for Halloween. It's all about death. And it's almost as if the world has embraced being dead before they've ever even lived. And that's something that we can bring back, that we can choose to live. And it's not to say outrun death, but not celebrate it so much. When you celebrate death, are you celebrating life? And honestly, there's no way you can. You can't sit there and say that my heart is here, I'm happy to be alive, if all you're focusing on is, I have no feelings, my heart's broken, I don't care, the world sucks. That's being dead inside. And when you're dead inside, the world around you reflects that. The trees are sick, the flowers lose color, the air smells bad, trash piles up. This is surrounding ourselves with what we focus on. So I always want to give a challenge to myself, and that is to turn my attitude around. When I feel that it gets too far gone and I feel like I have nothing left to offer, I think about what I have offered and how far I have come. And a lot of times I forget that, and I know all of you forget that too. And I want to remind you that you're still moving, you're still going. You might not feel like you've succeeded in life, but if you're satisfied with life, then you're on the right track, because we're not all going to see our dreams come true, but we can work towards building a dream that is worth passing on. And had I not had my kids, I know I wouldn't be who I am. They saved me from being a drug addict. They saved me from being an alcoholic, from somebody who was doing what everybody else wanted me to do. Um, they gave me freedom. They gave me wisdom. They taught me that I was no longer fighting for me, that there was something greater than myself. And when I saw them, I saw the rest of the children in the world. And then when I saw the children, I noticed where they played, outside in the grass, walking around in the woods. My kids loved being in the woods. And as that continues to fade away, it makes me wonder about so much more that I haven't seen. The stories that my grandmother would tell me, and even the stories my mom would tell me about how wild and crazy they were and all the freedom. They dug a tunnel from their yard all the way over to their neighbor's yard and popped up, and no one said a word. And she said, I realize now we could have died. We could have had, the tunnel could have collapsed and no one knew we were doing it. But they had so much freedom, and then they had a drive to see this through. And it's like we've lost that there's pieces that are missing, because we have to work, we have to compete, we have to look at politics that really play very little in our lives, because the only thing they're there for is to make rules. And a lot of people break rules and don't care. And the more rules that they are, the more ways you can become a criminal without even knowing it. So just remember to connect the high and the low and create a balance on this plane. And when we do those things, just watch it. Watch the new garden grow, because we have taken away so much from ourselves and from our children, and we have the power to bring it back. And the best part to bring it back, the easiest part to bring it back, is to love and laugh and share with one another, trust one another. Undoubtedly people are going to disappoint you or hurt you, but that's where you grow. That's where change comes in, because change is scary and change can be painful. I mean, look at it as a woman going through 9 months of birth. By the time you get to the end of that pregnancy, 8 months old, my kid thought my bladder was a trampoline. I didn't sleep 1 week. I swear I went crazy. And I would get up, go pee, not pee, lay back down, have to pee. It was just a constant, like, what the hell is going on? And then this kid is born, and all you can do is look at them and be like, you created all that discomfort in me. And then you love them with your ever being. You would give up the world for them, because they are the world. They are the future. And most of them save us. When we embrace our children in times of trouble, they become something you would never imagine. My 15-year-old son amazes me. Every time I get down, he knows it. And he comes and just sits with me and hugs on me and reminds me that he loves me and that he's here for me. And anytime I want to talk, I'm welcome to talk to him. And I don't know many children like that, but many children haven't been raised by me. And many children haven't gone through a crazy life of voyages and adventure and unschooling, because I didn't homeschool. I've homeschooled, but in a way that is unique to them, and have taught them certain things that they need in life, things that aren't taught. How to be a good citizen, how to cook, how to take care of yourself, how to be compassionate towards others, how to not give your all, but share. And these are lessons that we're losing, that even us as adults, we forget that we need to be here for one another, that I had a friend one time, and I said, you can lean on me and I'll lean on you, and I'll take it from Forrest Gump because I did, but so we don't have our heads in the mud. And that helped both of us get through some very hard times. And sometimes people come in your life for a moment just to remind you that you can be your own strength and you can rely on yourself when you need it the most, and you can talk yourself through your hardest days and keep going, because all you have is to keep going. And I just want to remind you, celebrate life as much as you celebrate death, if not more. Just because you're comfortable with death doesn't mean you have to be ready to give up now. And just because you're unhappy doesn't mean you have to give up on life. Because when you do give up on life, it reflects. Like I said, look around and you see war and trouble and suffering and problems with the food and the water, and now all these storms are ramping up almost to just like keep shaking us up and get our attention. And hey, what are you focused on? Hey, what are you living for? Hey, what are you doing? And remind yourself that, ask yourself that, what am I doing with my life? Because as we get older, time gets shorter, and it's not even that it's getting shorter, it's just that your time is running out. And if you're that comfortable with death, maybe try to get comfortable with life and understand that there's more you can give to the living than all the tears you can give to the dead. Because those tears that you give to the dead, they don't hear you, they don't feel you. They would have when they were living. So remember to tell everyone that's in your space, that is with you, remind them, I love you, how much they mean to you, because you can go cry at that headstone, that tombstone, and that's out of grief for what you let pass you by. So instead of letting it pass you by, embrace it. And then you have less tears to share when that person's gone, and you have more memories and laughter to live on. And honestly, a lot of people I know that are content with their life would rather have a party, rather you have a party, me have a party for their funeral, than to sit and grieve over them, because they're not miserable, they're not suffering, they lived a life that was full for themselves in whatever way that is. Not everybody wants to travel, adventure, explore. Not everybody wants to work at a desk. Not everybody wants to have $1 million. Some people want to give their time away and see other people smile and help them heal and heal themselves and see the world go in a better direction. So whatever it is you feel you're called to do, please do it. Get the courage, find the strength, and just remind yourself that you are worth living. You are worth being here. Your time to die will come. And even in that sense, no need to fear it. It's just a change. And in that change, honestly, you will feel less pain than the people that have watched you move on. And I think we all know that, because we've all lost someone that's very precious to us. And a lot of times even that person is still alive, and the grief that you go through, the ups and downs, the heartache, the just wanting to reach out, wanting to know everything's okay, and saying, you know what, but I have to take a step back, because sometimes things have to pass on in our lives to create space, rather it be for that person to come back new and improved, or for something greater to take its place. So if you feel stuck, I just want to remind you to clean out your closet, your spirit, your soul, your mind, and put yourself back in a position where you're ready to have all this abundance come back to you. And that's where I'm at, having to remind myself that every day there is abundance in my life, whether it be I have the ability to smile, I was lucky enough to wake up, I have friends that I can lean on and talk to that are brave enough to reach out to me as well, that I can share laughter with my loved ones, or just pass time and have fun together. So next time you feel alone or bored, I want you to look yourself in the mirror, and I want you to say, I have you. You matter more than anything in the world, and I have you, and I'm thankful for that. And just remember to give yourself a hug and a kiss because you're worth it. Love and light to you. Bye.